Hello, my brave future doctors. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let's begin with the first chapter. This is this chapter which I am starting because this is the basic chapter and it's really important to begin with the things. Alright, even if just imagine you don't know about cell, is that even possible? Like cell is the basic unit of life, naam mein diya hai cell the unit of life. इसीलिए before we begin with anything, let's first complete the cell the unit of life. This is the part 1 of cell the unit of life, and let's begin with it. Introduction, that is about G.N. Ramachandran. He was the founder of Madras School of Conformational Analysis of Biopolymer, and his discovery was triple helical structure of collagen, published in Nature of 1950, like in Nature, that is published in Nature in 1954. This is question given in PYQ. Even if you want to verify, you can go and verify it. Like his discovery was triple helical structure of collagen. Just make sure you remember. Even if you study only this much, it's more than enough because I've given you everything which is really important. Okay, now his analysis allowed conformation of proteins through the use of Ramachandran plot rank. Okay, he met Linus. This is also a PYQ question. Ramachandran plot is also a PYQ question. He met Linus Pauling, alpha helix and beta seed structure. This alpha helix, and he had discovered alpha helix and beta seed structure. This whole thing directed his attention to solving the structure of collagen. Alright, this is completely about the G.N. Ramachandran. Just read this and it's more than enough. Now let's begin with the chapter. Okay, as we know that cell is a fundamental structural and functional unit of living organism. In the beginning of the chapter, they have asked, like in the introduction itself, they have asked one question, that is क्या एक चीज़ है जो अभी एक थिंग को इधर लिविंग बनाती है नॉन लिविंग बनाती है. Like proper sentence which they have asked in the textbook is what is it that makes an organism living, or what is that an inanimate thing does not have which a living thing has. मतलब क्वेश्चन का मतलब क्या है, एक जो चीज़ जो लिविंग थिंग में प्रेजेंट होती है एंड वो जो चीज़ लिविंग नॉन लिविंग थिंग्स में एब्सेंट होती है. मतलब इन शॉर्ट, जो चीज़ प्रेजेंट होने की वजह से एक चीज़ को लिविंग और नॉन लिविंग का डेफिनेशन या फिर टैग दिया जाता है, वो चीज़ क्या है करके क्वेश्चन पूछा है. तो द प्रेजेंस ऑफ बेसिक यूनिट ऑफ लाइफ, द सेल, मेक्स अ थिंग लिविंग. मतलब सेल के प्रेजेंस की वजह से a thing can be considered either as a living or non-living. Okay, next thing is based on the number of cells, that is either it is unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular मतलब क्या है, सिंगल सेल आता है. Okay, सिंगल सेल एग्जाम्पल में क्या लिख सकते हो आप, अमीबा लिख सकते हो. Alright, and next is multicellular, which is composed of many cells. That is, this is a basic thing. You can consider plants, animals, any multicellular organism. Like anything which has more than one cell is called as multicellular. Okay, then यूनिसेलुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म. अभी देखो, आपको पता है कि हमारे बॉडी में बहुत सारे सेल्स मिला के फंक्शंस का ये करते हैं ना. अभी यूनिसेलुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म में सिर्फ एक सेल रहता है. अभी वो एक सेल क्या क्या कैपेबल रहता है, क्या क्या इट शुड हैव इट्स इंडिपेंडेंट एग्जिस्टेंस, परफॉर्मिंग द एसेंशियल फंक्शंस ऑफ लाइफ. दीज टू क्राइटेरिया आर मस्ट. Alright, these two criteria are must. Anything less than a complete structure of cell does not ensure an independent living. Okay, मतलब अभी देखो, कुछ भी कम हो जाए तो उसको इंडिपेंडेंट लिविंग में कंसिडर नहीं करते हैं. ऑलराइट, अभी नेक्स्ट पढ़ते हैं एंटन वॉन लिवॉनहुक. ये भी इम्पॉर्टेंट है. ये एंटन वॉन लिवॉनहुक, इसने क्या किया था, फर्स्ट सॉ and described a live cell. Okay, he was the one who first saw and described a live cell, and then Robert Brown discovered a nucleus. Alright, and next topic is cell theory. Cell theory was formulated by Sklidon and Schwann. These both together postulated the cell theory, and it had a major drawback. जो major drawback था was it didn't explain how new cells were formed. अभी के मॉडर्न थेरी में और पिछले वाले दैट इज सेल थेरी में एक ही डिफरेंस था. मतलब जो चीज़ सेल थेरी क्यों एक्सेप्ट नहीं हो पाई, उसका रीज़न क्या था पता है. इन लोगों ने सब बताया बट दे डिडंट टेल हाउ न्यू सेल्स वर फॉर्म्ड. दैट वाज द मेन थिंग, राइट. रिप्रोडक्शन, इफ न्यू सेल्स आर नॉट फॉर्म, इसका मतलब ये है कि आगे की जनरेशन नहीं बनेगी ना. सो दैट वाज द मेन थिंग, टू पुश ऑन योर जनरेशन या फिर टू कीप योर क्या बोलते हो, टू कीप योर legacy on, you need to regenerate it. Sorry, regenerate it. So they didn't explain that main thing itself, that is how new cells were formed. They didn't explain that only thing. Okay, now let's read single contribution of each one of them. Matthias Scleden, year bhi yaad rakhna because these are really confusing. And 1838, all right. What, he was a German botanist. इसका आइडेंटिटी भी इंपॉर्टेंट है. He was a German botanist. इसका काम क्या था? What did he do? All plants, like he concluded that he just experimented on plants. Okay, he just experimented on plants. All right, where they say all the plants. उसका conclusion क्या था? All the plants are composed of different types of cells which form tissues of plants. मतलब एक अभी all the plant मतलब एक plant का all plants are composed of different types of cells विच फॉर्म द टिश्यूज ऑफ प्लांट. एक प्लांट एक ही टाइप का सेल्स का नहीं बनवाता है, उनके अपने अपने डिफरेंट टाइप्स रहते हैं जो मिला के एक टिश्यू ऑफ प्लांट बनाता है. ओके, थियोडर शॉन, इसको ये कौन था? ब्रिटिश जियोलॉजिस्ट. इसका भी ईयर बहुत आसपास है, सो इट्स रियली कन्फ्यूजिंग. ही इज 1838 एंड ही इज 1839. like he has explained everything in 1839. Alright, now let's अभी देखते हैं उसने क्या क्या किया है. See, zoologist है तो obviously he has studied about animal cells, but even he has studied about plant cells. You need to remember this thing. He, along with animal cells, he has studied even about plant cells, whereas Scleden has only studied about plant cells. All right, he reported, like, what was his reporting? Like, cell had an outer thin layer that is called as plasma membrane. Cell had outer thin layer that is called as plasma membrane. This is also really important. What was the conclusion given by Sean? That is cell wall. That cell wall जो रहता है ना, वो unique character है, like unique character of plant cells. This is the जो कुछ भी notes में आपको बता रही हूँ ना, it's completely of NCERT. There is nothing ऊपर नीचे हुआ है, same to same words जो important है in like point of view of need, सब अच्छे से बता रही हूँ मैं. Please, I just really hope you keep on supporting. Just start supporting me. I'm new to this, even I know this. I just want you to support me. I can at least guarantee you whatsoever might happen, I'll give you complete knowledge of NCERT. Complete knowledge. I'll be giving you DPPs and all, and then even I'll be providing, like, after this, that is Cell the Unit of Life. We'll keep a session in which we'll be solving the total PYQs of this. Alright, I just really hope you really like this video is really helping you out. Please, it's a request that you please like, share and even subscribe. Please share it in your friends group and all. Okay, now let's proceed. देखो, शॉन ने क्या क्या किया था. पहले उसने एनिमल ऑल्सो प्लस प्लांट सेल के बारे में पढ़ा था, एंड उसने क्या रिपोर्ट दिया? सेल्स हैड अ थिन आउटर लेयर कॉल्ड प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन. ऑलराइट, एंड देन what was his conclusion? Like, what did he conclude about plant cell? Cell wall is a unique character of plant cell. This was the important conclusion which was given by Sean. Okay, and what did he propose? He proposed the hypothesis that the bodies of the animals and plants are composed of cells and product of cells. This is also really important. It was an hypothesis, and remember these, like hypothesis, proposed, concluded, these सारे words बहुत important है, because when it comes to statement wise questions it really confuses a lot. See, propose, what did he propose? Hypothesis that the bodies of the animals and plants are composed of cells and products of cells. Alright, मतलब क्या है कंपोज? मतलब जो कुछ भी एनिमल हो, प्लांट हो, वो सब सेल्स और उसके प्रोडक्ट्स के साथ ही, लाइक इट इज़ द कंपोजिशन ऑफ दैट. ओके, रुडोल्फ विर्शॉ, दैट इज, इसका ईयर क्या था? 1855. इनका ईयर क्या था? शॉन का 1839 और स्क्लिडन का 1838. ऑलराइट, 1838. अभी रुडोल्फ विर्शॉ का 1855. इसने क्या किया? ओमनिस सेल्युले ई सेल्युला, इसने ये एक्सप्लेन किया था. इसका मतलब क्या है? The cells divided and new cells are formed from pre-existing cells. इसका मतलब क्या है? It is compulsion that cells must divide. Like, to like आगे बढ़ने के लिए you need to divide. Okay, this whatsoever new cells are formed, these are originating from जो पहले present थे. Alright, like इसका statement क्या था? The cells divided and the new cells are formed from pre-existing cells. Alright, this is clear. sorry, the modified hypothesis of Shawn, like he, that is Rudolf Virchow. किसने modify किया? Rudolf Virchow ने hypothesis of Shawn और Schleiden को मॉडिफाई किया एंड उसको फाइनल शेप दिया. देयरफॉर द सेल थ्योरी विच इज एक्सेप्टेड राइट नाउ इन today's era, which is the cell theory which contains these things, it should be all the living organisms are composed of cells and products of cells. ऐसे मैंने बोला ना, कुछ भी बनाने के लिए इधर आपको पहली बार cells must be present. Anything which can be said as a living thing, it should have cells. And a living thing, like what according to this cell theory, all the living organisms are composed of cells and products of cells. Okay, all cells arise from pre-existing cells. जो cells पहले present रहते हैं उसी से नए cell की शुरुआत होती है. Alright, इसका मतलब ये था. I hope कि आपको like you have understood till this. Now let's get into overview of a cell. Alright, an overview of cell. लाइक दे हैव आस्क्ड लाइक ऑनियन पील और ह्यूमन चीक के बारे में बोला है. देखो, ऑनियन पील इज इंक्लूडेड अंडर प्लांट सेल. वो ऑब्वियसली प्लांट सेल के अंदर कंसिडर किया जाता है. एनिमल ह्यूमन चीक सेल को एनिमल सेल के अंदर कंसिडर किया जाता है. दे हैव गिवन अ बेसिक डिफरेंसेस. ओके, प्लांट सेल में आउटर बाउंड्री डिस्टिंक्ट सेल वॉल से बनाई जाती है. दैट इज हियर, इट इज हियर. डिस्टिंक्ट सेल वॉल से बनाई जाती है एंड उसके अंदर सेल मेम्ब्रेन प्रेजेंट रहता है. वेयर इन एनिमल सेल क्या रहता है? दैट इज ह्यूमन चीक सेल में आउटर मेम्ब्रेन इज अ डीलिमिटिंग स्ट्रक्चर. दिस इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट, ये भी अच्छे से याद रख के लो. दिस इज अ डीलिमिटिंग स्ट्रक्चर. इसमें सेल वॉल प्रेजेंट नहीं रहता है. जैसे शॉन ने डिफरेंस बताया था, दैट इज लाइक he had concluded that unique cell wall is a unique character of plant cell. बोला था ना, वही ना अभी. that is plant cell has outer boundary made up of distinct cell wall and within it there is a presence of cell membrane. Alright, animal cell has an outer membrane delimiting structure of a cell. Okay, each cell has a dense membrane bond structure called nucleus. अभी सेल के अंदर न्यूक्लियस प्रेजेंट रहता है जो डेंस मेम्ब्रेन बॉन्ड रहता है. न्यूक्लियस के अंदर क्रोमोसोम्स के अंदर डीएनए प्रेजेंट रहता है जो जेनेटिक मटीरियल है. ऑलराइट, अभी इसके बाद आते हैं साइटोप्लाज्म पे. यूकैरियोट्स और प्रोकैरियोट्स पे आगे जाके बताती हूँ मैं. लाइक साइटोप्लाज्म इट इज अ फ्लूइड, इट इज सेमी फ्लूइड मैट्रिक्स. अच्छे से याद रखो, सेमी फ्लूइड मैट्रिक्स ऑक्यूपाइज वॉल्यूम ऑफ सेल. अभी साइटोप्लाज्म में कंटिन्यूस केमिकल रिएक्शंस ऑकर होते हैं. केमिकल रिएक्शंस ऑकर इन दिस कीप्स लाइक द केमिकल रिएक्शंस कीप्स द सेल लिविंग. ओके, दिस इज ऑल्सो रियली इम्पॉर्टेंट. And next we'll study about the differences of prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes have no membrane bonds and nucleus, whereas eukaryotes have membrane bond nucleus. And then next comes membrane bond distinct structure called organelles are absent in prokaryotes, whereas in eukaryotes it is present. Organelles example के such as क्या है? ER, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, mitochondria, microbodies and vacuoles वगैरह present रहते हैं. Ribosomes दोनों में present रहते हैं. Ribosome is a non-membrane bond organelle which is present in cytoplasm, along with it is not just present in cytoplasm, it is also present in chloroplast, that is present in plants, and then mitochondria. It is also present on rough endoplasmic reticulum. Centrosome is a characteristic of animal cells which is present only in animal cell. It is also a non-membrane bond organelle which helps in cell division. Okay, now we will study about cells, like types of cells. There are distinct variety of types of cells. Okay, first is mycoplasm, that is smallest cell and it has a length of 0.3 micrometer. And next, bacteria is 3 to 5 micrometer. Ostrich egg, it is the largest isolated single cell. And then RBC, that is round and biconcave, 7.0 micrometer in diameter. ये सब आपको पढ़ के लेना पड़ेगा and just by heart मार लो इसको. It's really easy. Like shapes के बारे में बताया है, that is disc like, polygonal, columnar, cuboid, thread like, irregular. And the shape of the cell may vary. It is important. Shape of the cell may vary with the function they perform. Alright, अभी टेक्स्ट बुक में एनसीईआरटी में they have given certain pictures. Let's like एक बार देख लेते हैं उन चीज़ों को. सेम This is RBC, that is red blood cell. It is round and biconcave. Okay, and it has a diameter of 7.0 micrometer. And white blood cell, these are amoeboid shaped diapedices. Columnar epithelial cell, these are long and narrow. Then nerve cell, these are branched and long. Trachea, that is, it is elongated. And then mesophyll cells, round and oval. Okay, now in next class we'll continue with the prokaryotic cells. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this is really helping you. Thank you.